Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day, everyone. So, for the first week, we will be looking at an introduction to meetings and discussions. Here are some of the topics or subtopics that will be covered under this first week topic. Okay, we have what are meetings and discussions, what are the types of meetings, the purpose, the rules of meeting bearers, principles of interaction, as well as etiquette of meetings and discussions. Now, before we begin, there's this one quote that I would like you guys to read, and then I would like you guys to ponder this quote, yeah? But then again, we're not going to discuss about this quote. Let us move on. Now, before we begin, I would like you guys to listen to this TED Talk by this guy, Mariano Sigmund, uh, in which he talks about collaborative discussion, which is very interesting. Just spend some time on this video. The video will be shared to you either via the WhatsApp group or Telegram group or YouFuture. Now let us look at the definitions of meetings and discussions and how they are different. Now, a meeting is an assembly of people for a specific time and place to discuss specific topics which are significant to the interests of a particular group, organization, or community. So they are often regarded as formal meetings. Whereas discussion, on the other hand, is somewhat less formal and is often organized at a time or place anonymously and instantaneously, which means whenever you feel like having a discussion, you can just have that discussion with whoever that you wish for. It may not involve many people, maybe just about one or two, or perhaps three, four at most. And then the discussion matter is more on brainstorming ideas, seeking clarifications, delegating works, with with not very much on decision making. Okay, and they're of course often regarded as informal meetings. Now, when we talk about types of meetings, there are three types that you need to know: formal, informal, and ad hoc. Formal and informal, I guess I have given you the definitions just now. But what does it mean by ad hoc? Ad hoc means that it is a meeting that we organize because of an event that will only last for a very short duration of time. For example, if let's say I would like to organize a birthday party or a retirement party, then I need to have an ad hoc committee, and this ad hoc committee will then have an ad hoc meeting with the rest of the committee members, and they will solely focus on the event. And once the event has ended, the committee will then be dissolved, and there will be no longer meeting holds by this committee. And with these three main groups, we have about nine types of meetings, like status update meetings, decision making. We have problem solving, feedback, team building, so on and so forth. Now, what are the purposes of meetings? Okay, the first one is, of course, to generate ideas, to discuss alternatives, to choose the best option, making decision. Also, to discuss programs, project, to report. The third one is to share and consider the views and ideas from people of different skills and expertise to facilitate decision making. Because sometimes when you hold a meeting, you just maybe you have with you your decision, but when you hold a meeting, you just need to listen to what people think about the solutions and what could be some other options that you may want to make use in order to solve the issue, to solve problems and give recommendation on certain important issues. And of course, the last one is to make decisions in an attempt to meet demands and keep to the work schedule. All right, another short break. Another quote that you may want to sink in Okay, we move on. Rules of meeting pairs. Okay, first we have the rule of a chairman or chairperson. Uh, some people will just call chairman. Some people will just call that person, whoever that leads the meeting, chairperson. Then, so I think most of the time, a lot of people use the term chairperson because it does not sound gender biased. Okay, what are the rules for a chairperson? Number one, to prepare agenda before each meeting, to lead the meeting, to arbitrate any conflict. Arbitrate means that if let's say there's a conflict, you can be the king, the decision maker or the ultimate decision maker, or you can be the one, the mediator, mediator of those involved in the conflicts, so on and so forth. To keep the discussion on track, but often we don't see this. A lot of these chairperson, based on my experience, they are the one to exceed than the time given normally. But suppose if you are the chairperson, your one of your roles is to ensure that everything is on track, including the time. To take a vote, to open and close the meeting, and also to ensure the meeting starts and ends on time. Next is we have the secretary. Of course, the secretary is to assist the chairperson in preparing the agenda, to notify and remind members of the meeting, to make copies of document before a meeting, takes notes of details discussed in the meeting, and types and circulate meeting minutes of the meeting to members. Uh, we also have committee members. Their job is, of course, to update or report on recent developments. Normally, they will be assigned with roles or tasks. They also may want to raise any issue that might have cropped up. And sometimes we also receive participants in our meeting. Participants, they are part of the committee, but they are part of the so-called organization or institution or perhaps that event. For example, if let's say you organize an annual general meeting, you may have the committees, you also have the members of that so-called institution to attend the EGM, and what they can do is they can listen and provide views and suggestions. They can provide or they can give recommendations or even ask questions for clarification. Yeah. Now, these are some of the principles of interaction in meetings and discussion. Yeah, the first one is to use gatekeeping skills. Of course, in meetings or discussion, interaction is the key component here. Now, what to do? Listen to the discussion to encourage less talkative members to participate, and limit the contributions of over verbalizers. This is an example. Yeah, like Dale, we've not heard from you. Do you have some thoughts on this idea? So you as the gatekeeper, you are the one to not to provoke, but more like to encourage people who are not contributing to the input of the meetings. A lot of people may not contribute, not because of they do not want to, maybe because of the difference of post, and also seniority, and also uh, they are new. They are new to the place, or they're young, um, and um, the meeting is dominated by uh, senior employees. A lot of reasons could somehow hinder or can be the barrier of communication. Yeah. Number two is to focus the group's attention on the agenda or goal of the discussion, especially when discussion seems to be off target. Okay, and this happens all the time. Example, something like, although we seem to be interested in talking about some of the recent hassles we've had at university, I would like to bring us back to the purpose of today's meeting. Let's return to our second agenda item to help us solve the problem we are addressing. So this is one of the ways that sometimes when you go astray in the discussion during a meeting, what you can do is to bring them back, all of your meeting members, to bring them back to the right track to discuss matters at hand. Next is to monitor the group's use of time. Okay. You can look at the examples. I suppose this is self-explanatory. It's very straightforward to the point. And of course, the last one is to provide appropriate structure to channel discussion and keep it focused on the issues at hand. Next is the etiquettes of meeting and discussions. So what need to be done before, during, and after. Now, before the meeting, these are the few items or the few things that will be done by the committee members, like preparing the agenda, issue the notice of meeting, book a meeting room, provide stationery, prepare documents such as reports and minutes of the last meeting. During the meeting, maybe we can begin with an introduction, open the meeting, greet the participants, state meeting objective, purpose, and apologize. Give apologies for absentees, you know. And next is to review past business, and then right after that to begin the meeting, and then to discuss the items on the agenda, and of course the last one is to end the meeting. And after the meeting, maybe the things that need to be done is to type out the minutes of the meeting and also to circulate the minutes to member. These are the references. That will be all for first for the first topic. Thank you.